The setup for Rand's story indicates that the Wheel of Time is in a position to avoid a common complaint about his story in the source material. After the Wheel of Time Season 2's ending, Amazon's show is on track to bring the story of the Shadow rising to life on the small screen. The fourth installment in Robert Jordan's critically acclaimed fantasy series, The Shadow Rising, is remembered as a fundamental part of Rand's journey toward fulfilling his destiny as the Dragon Reborn. Taking Rand al'Thor to the Alewaste, The Shadow Rising introduces both the main characters and the reader to a previously unexplored corner of the Wheel of Time's world. It also brings the Ale into focus and delves into another aspect of Rand's role in the books, his status as the Kare Karn. The Wheel of Time Season 2 laid the groundwork for this milestone in Rand's life to happen in Season 3 when Aviendha declared him the Kare Karn in the episode. While this new direction risks a massive departure from the books, it's worth noting that it also grants the show a way to avoid a criticism aimed at one of Jordan's novels. Despite being the main character, Rand was barely in the Dragon Reborn. Wheel of Time Dragon Reborn cover. Although Rand was the subject of the title in the third book, The Dragon Reborn, Rand had an extremely limited presence in the story. He appeared at the beginning, was missing throughout the middle, and didn't re-enter the picture until the grand finale. His actions were at the center of the story, of course, given that finding him was the point of Perrin, Moiraine, and Lan's arc in the novel. It was a stark contrast to The Eye of the World, which started off as a Rand-centric story before eventually branching off into multiple plotlines. Due to how the Wheel of Time's first two books had propped up Rand, combined with his role as the main protagonist of the series, his long absence was a jarring shift for the series. As for why it worked that way, it would seem that with The Dragon Reborn, the intention was to maintain a degree of mystery as to what exactly Rand was doing, and rather than shine the spotlight on him directly, give more attention to the group of characters trying to look for him. Instead of following him all the way to Tear, the Wheel of Time showcased what happened to Rand once he got there. The Wheel of Time Season 3 story makes Rand's extended disappearance very unlikely. Josh Ostradowski as Rand al'Thor standing in the World of Dreams in the Wheel of Time Season 2. Were the show to follow the same course as the books, it stands to reason that Rand would disappear for a string of episodes in the Wheel of Time Season 3. So far, the show has done well to juggle all 5 characters exceptionally well in terms of screen time and their importance to the plot. Yet, the only meaningful character development Rand would receive if The Dragon Reborn was the focus of Season 3 would come at the end of the season. That's why an 8-episode Dragon Reborn adaptation wouldn't be able to accurately tell Rand's story without there being a sense that he was underutilized. That element of the situation reveals one of the positives of choosing The Shadow Rising over The Dragon Reborn for Season 3's story. Rand is featured heavily in The Shadow Rising, as is all 4 of his friends from Two Rivers. Since the Wheel of Time is poised to put emphasis on this particular book and perhaps give minimal attention to The Dragon Reborn, there won't be a need to make Rand disappear from view for several episodes. The Dragon Reborn's Rand problem reveals how Season 3 can use his Book 3 and 4 stories. From the looks of things, Rand missing out on most of The Dragon Reborn won't be a detriment to the Wheel of Time Season 3, but that doesn't mean it won't have an impact on the story. In fact, it can be used to the show's advantage in that it gives the series room to tell both Rand stories in a single season. This would be hard to manage in most other cases due to the lengths of each book, but since Rand's part in The Dragon Reborn is so small, it's possible it can be squeezed into the show's adaptation of The Shadow Rising. Rand surfacing at the end of The Dragon Reborn to take the Stone of Tear is central to his narrative, hence why its inclusion does feel necessary. After all, it's at the Stone of Tear that he claims Calendar, the legendary weapon he needs to take on the Dark One during the last battle. Given how disconnected the story is from the Alewaste journey, the show may have to change its location and perhaps the circumstances of the battle to work it into the Wheel of Time Season 3. It's possible it could even be used as the finale, perhaps in combination with Rand's fight with Asmodean in The Shadow Rising.